We start the Trib Live Radio morning show on a Tuesday after Memorial Day with the stunning realization that the Pittsburgh Penguins are now just 3 games removed from bringing the Stanley Cup back to Pittsburgh, Guy. And after 60 minutes of play in this series against the Sharks, one that you and I both thought would be destined for 7, one that you and I both thought the Penguins would win in 7, do you have any reason to think that this series will be any easier, any more difficult than we should have anticipated going in, now that the Penguins have won Game 1?
No. I remember after Game 1 against Tampa, I was really concerned. It was the one time where I thought I saw something that might carry over, Tim. Tampa's speed. Penguins have been so much faster than the Rangers and even the Capitals. And that Game 1 against Tampa just scared me. I had a feeling that they might be in trouble, that was not a good matchup. So I'm not going to make any judgment that this thing is over. But, watching that first period last night, I had visions of people already planning the parade route, San Jose's a very talented team. They'll miss Rust if he's going to be out for any length of time. I think there's a lot of hockey still to be played here, but I still like the Penguins.
I asked a similar question of our audience before the show started, and 3/4 of respondents.
This is new from the one you put out last week,
yeah,
right?
Oh, yeah. I changed it up a little bit. I said after seeing Game 1 of the Cup final, this series will be fill in the blank for the Pens. Easier than I thought, tougher than I thought, exactly what I thought. And 3/4 of the people have chimed in so far have said exactly what I thought, and I'm in that camp. But you know what? I'm actually leaning towards easier than I thought. I had to kind of debate this with myself, because what I saw in that first period and what I saw still at times during the second and third was, to go back to the point you just made, still a team that's a lot faster than its opposition. That may be hampered with Brian Rust being out. We'll see how long he is out for, if at all. And it doesn't look like there's going to be any league discipline against Patrick Marleau for that hit on him. I disagree with that. We'll get to that in a minute. But it was obvious in the first period, and it was even obvious after the Penguins were on their heels for a while in the second. I think towards the end of the second and at various times in the third, they looked like the faster team. San Jose in the West, I think, was a lot faster than some of its opponents that have played.
St. Louis is basically plodding.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we watched them pretty intently against St. Louis, and I think once they get on the ice with the Penguins have all that team speed. They don't look as fast as they did against their Western Conference foes in the finals.
Right. Well, I think the first period, nobody wanted to say this or admit it, and a few people were asked about it, Tim. The Penguins have 7 guys that have played in Stanley Cup finals. Chris Kunitz is the only guy on either roster that's won 2 Stanley Cups. They don't have that kind of experience in San Jose's dressing room. And to me, they look like a team that they were a deer in the headlights in that first period. And I even tweeted between periods, this will not continue. They're going to settle down. I didn't quite expect them to settle down that much and come back and tie it up the way they did. But I think that if Rust is out and you've already lost Daly, some of that really superior seed is going to be sucked out of them a little bit, and it might draw things down. But what you said about periods of time beside the first period, I think it's been true in every series. I think sometimes we do this and we want to point out the fans are always like so excited, want to point out all the good stuff, and you can't say anything bad about their team. And I think sometimes we go the opposite way. We're always looking for something to nitpick. I can't find. This team is just so much fun to watch. They're never really out of it, and I think that for the large part of every series so far, even though it took 6 against Washington and 7 against Tampa, they've been the better team. It hasn't been even as close as a 4-3 series would tell you.
One area where I think it might be more difficult than I anticipated is in goal, because Martin Jones was better than I thought seeing him in person. I don't think St. Louis, and I guess at times the games that I caught here and there in their first 2 rounds as well, I didn't see him have to move nearly as much as I did last night, and he made some impressive saves. That one toe save he made was every bit as good as the one that Murray made, and he impressed me. But there's more quickness there. There's just more there. I thought he was tested pretty substantially, especially early by the Penguins, and I'm more impressed with him having seen him in person, Guy, than I expected to walk away after 60 minutes. How about you?
Yeah, he was very good, and I thought, when I was on with Mike Graw on our pregame show last night, I said I thought that really, even though they're both rookies, both having their first playoff experiences this year. Well, he's not technically a rookie, but in playing in Stanley Cup playoffs, they both played their first playoff games ever this year. I thought the Penguins had an advantage there. I'm not quite as sure that the advantage is what I thought it was.
Who do you think played better in goal last night, Murray or Jones? Jones?
Jones, because he faced a lot more stuff. I have no problem. The wraparound always bothers me a little bit. He got trapped a little bit. His leg was so far outside the outside post, he had too much ground to make up to get back over the other side. So maybe that one is preventable. There was nothing wrong with Murray's game. I, like you, though, with the amount of rubber that he faced, was just really impressed with Jones. And this question has come up a lot, Tim, with the Penguins, the minor league guys, the black aces, the guys who haven't dressed for any games, but even the addition, is this a benefit to them to be around this even though they're not playing? And most people say yes, just to watch the whole thing. He was the backup to Quick when they won a cup, so I mean he's been on the bench ready to go for a Stanley Cup Finals before.
Coming up later on in the program, we'll have Matt Barnaby from Sirius XM NHL. Also, Sharks TV play-by-play man Randy Hahn, so we get the San Jose perspective in the 11 o'clock hour. In the noon hour, former Penguins Mike Rupp and Colby Armstrong join us as it's a lot of hockey a lot of the time today here on the Trib Live Morning Show, which is brought to you by Mama Pepino's Pizza Pub and Billiards. Newly added billiard room. Enjoy 3,000 square feet of dedicated space for pool tables. Stop in and check out Mama Pepino's Pizza Pub and Billiards in Glassport, PA for their daily food specials. Happy hour drink specials as well, Monday through Friday, 5 until 7.